Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night chat. Got a good panel here. Actually, I think reloading from the hot pot is the first time on my chat.
Yes, it is, sir.
All right, there you go. I've seen you on the Scotsman's chat. Might have even been on the chat with you there, but I hadn't yet been on mine. But anyway, we're gonna bounce around. Rosie can't be here. Well, she's out camping and taking a little hiatus from the chats. So it might be a few weeks before we see her back again, but that's all good. It's summertime. Get out there and enjoy it. And in the meantime, I'm going to let my panel members do an intro, and I will start with Blue, who has been a little bit of a hiatus because of work here lately, and glad to have you back, Blue, and go right ahead.
I'll tell you, going back on to friggin' daylights after working a month of nights sucks ass. The last 2 days, I've had 8 hours of sleep. I'll go to bed between 11:30 and midnight. Guaranteed at 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up for unknown reasons and can't get my ass back to sleep. So I don't know how long I'm going to freaking be in here tonight, but it's good to see everybody out in the external. Good to see the guys in here in the internal. Just a real quick mention, the giveaway, the last day to file for a video, which I think everybody on here is in on the giveaway. But that's going to be tomorrow at midnight. So I said I was going to shut it down on the 9th. So it'll be the 9th at midnight into the 10th. And then we'll do the drawing shortly thereafter. And actually, I think I have like 22 VRs or some shit like that, which is unbelievable. I can't believe the support and just the attention that this custom sign's getting. So I think that's pretty cool. So if you guys were kind of dinking around, not sure you wanted to get in on it, get in on it. You have a 1 in 24 chance. So, and I think I'm just going to have the kids, I'm going to put for the drawing, I'm just going to put everybody's name on a playing card, face it backwards on a piece of cardboard. I'm going to have each kid take a shot with just a BB gun, and then we'll get the last 3, and then I don't know who I'll choose to make the last shot, but we'll knock it down to 3, and then have one of the kids do a shot, and whichever card gets hit, that'll be the winner. So I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. But I want to thank everybody for putting videos in, and can't wait to get this thing started.
Yeah, 22 VRs, that's good. It is good. All right, reloading from the hot pot. Go right ahead and do an intro for those that don't know you.
How you all doing out there in the chat land and this illustrious panel I'm with? Blue, I can't wait to win that sign because it's going to be beautiful. But TR, thanks for having me on here. I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Patch, the man that refused to die. I think I got it right. I hope I did.
You got it right, brother TR. What is up, brothers and sisters? Those that know me, I'm the man who refused to die. Everybody calls me Patch. I talk a lot of shit. I talk a lot of facts. And I like to insult people by using facts. Thank you for having me, brother TR. Brother Blue, brother Hot Pot, I got you sub now. Now I can check out your stuff. Gentlemen, it's great to be here. I've been taking a little hiatus myself with this whole chest congestion thing. I'm glad to be back doing something, at least on a part-time basis, until I can stop sounding like I've swallowed hot acid.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I don't really have a itinerary for the night. I know usually Rosie starts off with economics, and I hadn't really been paying attention. We're just sitting right at 24,000, and it's just kind of up and down, up and down. I don't know enough about it to really voice an opinion on what's going on there. So we're going to skip that part. I would definitely sound like a fool compared to Rosie talking about it.
Oh man,
she is like guns and ammo. You can't go wrong. That's all I can say. Invest in copper, lead, and brass. There's one thing I did a video on, and I'm behind. For anybody that watches my videos, I'm behind on catching up with the comments. I got I've been working and other stuff going on. I'm a little behind on replying to comments, so give me time. I'll get to it. I promise you. But I did a video on the Boy Scouts, and a friend of, well, I know Blues talked to him a lot on chats. And I'm not downing them. I'm not putting them. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I promise you, I'm not. But a mutual friend of ours on Facebook's been doing videos. He did a few posts on Facebook, kind of refuting. He wasn't talking directly to me. He was just saying in general, because I was talking bad about the Boy Scouts, and not really bad. I just wasn't agreeing with what they're doing. And Matt, he posted some videos saying, well, it's not really true. It's still the Boy Scouts and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I literally watched like 40 minutes of videos from the Boy Scouts of America stating what they're doing, what their plans are, what their goals are. And yes, people, they're going to let boys and girls in the Boy Scouts, and they're going to be in the same damn troops. They can go all the way up to Eagle Scout just like the boys. It's not that I got a problem with girls doing those things. It's just like, can't we have anything stay the same? There's a reason there was Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. And anyway, that's just one of those little things that's going on that irks me a little bit.
No, but TR, I'm going to jump in real quick on this. I completely agree with you on your statements. The Boy Scouts, I wasn't in it very long. It was only a couple years, but that was the time where you didn't have to be awkward. You were just around a bunch of, at the time, your boys, but you're around the guys, you're learning stuff. You're learning about nature, tying knots, how to survive, how to do this, how to do that. Why the heck, I'm not going to swear yet. I haven't been drinking that much, but why the heck can we not have Boy Scouts, have Girl Scouts, and then instead of forcing these entities to accept one gender or the other, if you're that dead set on it, make a new entity so that it can be co-ed. Why are we always bending over to these with these stupid rules instead of just saying, all right, no, the Boy Scouts are the Boy Scouts. It's been that way for years. We're going to keep it that way. Girl Scouts is the same way. We're going to keep it that way. However, so that we can accommodate everybody. If you as a parent and you as the child, if you want to join into this group of co-ed scouts, then we'll make another organization for that. But we're going to keep our organizations the way they've been ran for years. I don't know what the big deal is.
Well, and the thing about it is, and it was something I wasn't even aware of. They do have a different group that's all under the Boy Scouts, because the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts, and then there's this group called, and I think it got something else too, but the Venturers or the Venture Club or Scouts or something. And that's something they did start, and it is co-ed, and evidently had it for a little while. But they are literally going to let the girls into the Boy Scouts. Now, from the painstaking video I watched, because it was dry as hell. But anyway, troops don't have to be co-ed. It is an option, just like the Cub Scouts. They don't have to let girls in the Cub Scouts, but they can if they want to. And it's the same thing with the Boy Scouts. They're going to let them allow females into the Boy Scouts, but they don't have to. So it's not something they're mandating. They're just opening it up. And they are dropping boy from the Boy Scouts. Technically, it is still the Boy Scouts of America. But instead of the Boy Scouts, they're going to just call it Scouts, like, comma, BSA. So everything you heard is true.
Are they going to be dropping girls from Girl Scouts? Probably not.
Nope. So that's a whole different organization.
This is part of my bread and butter. This is something I do quite frequently, even out in the real world. This issue is a pervasive issue. And it's all being brought about by third wave feminism, inclusion, inclusion at the barrel at the end of a barrel of a gun, basically, which is what's being done. If you look at the world today, the lowest thing on the totem pole right now is Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. That's your base fundamentals. Where, you know, as Blue was saying, I was in the Boy Scouts for a little bit. That's where we learned how to be guys and kind of hang out with the fellas, you know, without feeling awkward, like our feet were too big, our ears were too big, and our hands were too big. Problem is, they're doing that with everything. So, and the premise is just the third wave feminism movement. They don't want equality; they want superiority. And what happens is they ingrain themselves into stuff that was, by and large, strictly one sex, one gender. Excuse me if I say sex, somebody will have a fit. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, they were made for a reason. Because you don't want Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts commingling at such a young age when hormones are raging. Because you might have, as somebody said in the side chat, Cub Scouts come from it 6-9 months later. But the problem is, it's not just the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. It's through every factor of life now. Realize, back in the 70s, they were calling for the end of all male clubs of any sort, adult clubs, all male schools, all male this, all male that. You couldn't have all male golf courses. Everything had to be made inclusive. Now we're having all girl schools, all girl clubs, all girl this, but they want to still tell guys, hey, you can't have an all boys thing. That's unraveling Western society. Because on the core principles, men and women aren't the same. We're not truly physically equal. There are a lot of things that women can do that, thank God, I can't do, because I just couldn't do it. You know, giving birth, all that good stuff. I don't want that. They can have that. I'll go chop the trees down. They can give birth to kids. I'm totally cool with that. But they want to make everything so feminist equal that they have to slice out everything that's helped make the country what it is. Like I said, it's not just the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. It's up to everything, even up into colleges now. You know, with crying closets and roped off safe spaces only for women or minorities, but everything else, they're just sticking that finger into that wound that just won't heal. But that's what I do daily and talk to people on a daily in regards to these things. Oh, God, no, Linda, don't say that. Linda just said, wait, Patch, it won't be long for they figure out a way for men to give birth. Let me qualify by saying, fuck that. I'll get my tubes tied quick.
You know what's funny though? Well, you know what's kind of funny, kind of not funny is they've actually found a way to genetically make a baby from two male, but they cannot. But they cannot do it with two female. Dead in the water. Have you read anything on this?
Not me. I haven't.
Look it up. There's some articles out there on it where they're doing it in labs.
Well, my main problem with it, it's not so much that it's not the principle. Well, maybe it is principle. I mean, it's not the general idea that, hey, these girls want to go camping. They want to do this. They want to do that, whatever. It's not that. I'm not against that. It's just that I remember, like I said in my video, believe it or not, I was a very, very shy boy. I did not know how to approach girls. I was shy around them. I would close up and just clam up. I didn't know how to deal with them. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. But you get me around the other boys that were around my age, and I could open up. I could be myself. But if you threw a girl or two in there, these boys, I ain't saying all of them, but they're not going to be allowed to be boys, because now they're like you said, you know, you're starting to hit puberty, or you're in puberty, or just going through it. It's an awkward time, and you just want to build a fire, you know, or you cook hot dogs on the campfire. Well, now these girls, well, that changes the whole freaking agenda. You got to impress them. You got to be able to talk to them. All this. No, just give me my Barlow knife. Let me whittle on the stick, start a fire, and go fishing, you know?
Well, plus the other thing is, like you said, and I said earlier, the hormones are raging. You know how guys are when it comes to chicks, especially when you're first starting to hit puberty. You want to kill all your buddies behind you for looking at the same chick you're looking at. So now take, just hypothetically, you got 10 boys, 10 girls, hell, 10 boys, 5 girls in the same troop. And all 10 of these little boys are just hitting 13, 12, 13, and they're starting to get their voices cracking, and they're growing facial hair, and they got armpit hair now, and they all go knuckle dragging mouth breathers. Where they start off, they see these 5 girls. These boys are going to cut each other's throats just to try and get to the attention of these little girls, and vice versa. These little girls are going to slap each other in the back of the head because they're looking at the dude that they want to talk to. It just makes no sense from a common sense standpoint. It makes no sense. Let little girls be with little girls while they're formative years. They get enough time interacting during school and all these other social functions. Why do we have to take the one thing, the one basic thing that keeps them apart for a few more years? It keeps from teen pregnancy happening when they're going away for a camping trip. Camping to me is boring unless I bring my missus. And I've been that way since I was a kid. If I didn't have a girlfriend come with me camping, I didn't want to go camping. I'd stay at home. But today, especially with the kids growing up so quickly, they got 12-year-olds having kids, 13-year-olds getting married in this day and age, and it all seems to be going down the moral path of being right now. Whereas 20 years ago, this shit would never have been thought of or discussed in open, let alone in private. It just makes no sense why you're pushing the buttons, trying to get teen pregnancy down and all this other good shit, trying to get kids to make good decisions. You can't do that if their hormones are raging, their brains are down there, and you're not listening to the troop master tell you, hey, this is what it means to be a young man.
That's part of it. Right. I'm sure a lot of people don't realize it. I'm not saying that the troop I was in was perfect, but it was kind of a grooming to be a young, respectful, reliable man. A lot of the values and stuff they was instilling is how to be a good person. Now you throw girls in there, well, hell, you done disrupted the whole damn program. Because now all of a sudden you're just back like you're in school. You're vying for the attention of a girl. You don't give a damn about that merit badge. This, that, what? No, I just want her attention. Or is she making fun of me? Or what? Well, that's the way I kind of thought anyway. 20 years ago, you wouldn't even have thought about, well, let's put these 15-year-old boys and girls in the woods together and let them learn camping. Everybody would have said, are you out of your fucking mind?
You're right.
But it just goes to push a social agenda, though. If you look in the world politics now, it's everything has to be inclusive. Jesus Christ, in North Carolina, they're telling preschool kids you can't use the words best friend because it's not inclusive enough. You know what's funny? If I'm not your friend, fuck you. I don't care if I'm including you or not. I don't mean to include you if you're not my friend. And if you're not my best friend, you can go piss up a rope. You're not going to tell me what I can and can't say. Yeah, I'm a grown up, but I've been this way since I was like 10 years old. Being told what I could and couldn't do, what I could and couldn't say, didn't fly with me even back then. And I'm pushing 50 now. I think it's stupid to indoctrinate our children into thinking that everybody is equal because we're not equal. Biochemistry-wise, we're not equal. From a genetic standpoint, we're not equal. There are some people who are better at some things than others. That's a fact of life. It's just like giving everybody a goddamn trophy just for showing up. They're taking all the competition out of everything and taking all of everybody's desire, drive, and willpower away just to fit in with everybody else. Makes no sense.
Yes, people are not equal in their skills and ability, period. Not even getting into gender, just period.
If everybody was equal in their skills, then we would all be police officers. We would all be tattoo artists. We would all be line labor workers, but we each have our own specific talent and skill in life. And it's not being noticed anymore. It's being thrown out the window. All the little Debbie's equal to little Billy, but little Billy can pick up 60 pounds and little Debbie can only pick up 10, but they're equals. No, I'm sorry, but it's not equal. I was very lucky to be raised by a grandfather who brought the old school ways into me, taught me how to talk and how to respect women and to understand that we are separate.
And I think you just brought up a great point. Respect. And it's respect across the board for everybody. I don't care if you're male, female, black, white, yellow, purple. That's what our society as a whole is missing. Respect.
You know, I get people that freak out because I open the door for them walking into a store or going into a restaurant. I get looked at like, what are you doing? And it's like, well, you first. And I don't care if it's man, woman. I don't care if you're black, white, China. I don't care. You know, I'm going to show you respect and give you respect until you disrespect me.
Yep.
Exactly. I moved out here from Tennessee, and I'm from New York originally. So I kind of get it. When I moved out to Southern California, people kind of looked at me strange because now I'm the type of guy, I hold the door. I don't give a shit. You know, 2 or 3 people got to go through, knock yourself out. I can go in last. I don't mind. But out here, people look at you like you're going to mug them. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Or get offended. You know, and I'm also the type of person, if I look you in the eye, if we're walking like in a grocery store and you and I make eye contact, I'll say what's up. Just because. That awkward, stupid, I don't believe in that. I'm not bashful. I mean, look at me. I can't go out anywhere, very many places without getting, you know, looked at and go, wow. I had some lady yesterday at the grocery store we were at yesterday? Someplace we were at yesterday or the day before saying, wow, I love that patch. Like I was just wearing it for the hell of it. I'm like, oh no, sweetheart. No, sweetheart. I've had this for over 20 years. So I got so pretty from the brain cancer. She went, oh shit, my bad. But people nowadays are just, their moral compass is like not true north anymore. It's more like here. And they think everybody else has to be the same way. And they think that indoctrinating people and cutting out what makes us different, whether it's man and woman, white man, black girl, black man, they think what makes us different, they're cutting it all out. Remember the movie 1984? Nobody was different. They were all the same except for the militarians. The supposed slave culture had more freedoms and rights than the actual people of the party. And that's what's happening now. And they're rushed to make everybody so inclusive. They're pushing diversity and they're pushing inclusivity at the end of a gun. Because at the end of the day, when you start getting the government involved, it ends in violence because the government's coming with their pistol or their M16 saying, you've got to do this or else. And that's what's happening. But slowly but surely, the narrative is changing. I see this in California a lot lately, where they're sick of the illegal alien issues. They're sick of the overtaxation issues. They're sick of the, you can't do this because you're a white man. You can't do this because you're a white woman. Now they're starting to slowly but surely shift away from all this neo-fascist nonsense, which is basically what it is. It's neocon fascism. You know, it's not the old fascism. It's not the fascism of your grandparents during World War II. It's this new thing that's insidious and it creeps into your blood. And it's like a bloodborne disease. And once it gets into a little finger, it starts to travel up that arm and slowly but surely take over the rest of the host like a parasite. That's what third wave feminism has become. It's a parasitical organism that's trying to change the face of the world to not make everybody equal.
You know, major tattoos stop that from spreading.
Tell me. I know. I know. I'm working on more as this gets done. My wife is too. We know about major tattoos and spreading bloodborne disease. That's not happening here. Our daughters watch and listen to my shows a lot when I do my shows throughout the week. And my 4-year-old loves listening to the show because she gets to learn so much shit. But we're smart. We homeschool our kids. We don't let them get indoctrinated into the rhetoric that these liberal teachers want to push, especially here in California. How everything is happy, happy, joy, joy. They can live in this bubble and extend this bubble out for the next 40 years so they can continue doing school for 40 years because that's what they're trying to do. Make all these kids professional students who never have to get out in the real world and figure out the real world don't give 2 shits about you. It's about what you can produce and what you could do for the company you're working for as an asset. But I could ramble on about this for hours. This is what I was talking about earlier before we started. Let's talk about the stupidity of people. TR just picked one of my cup of teas.
Society as a whole is stupid. You know, I deal with people on a personal base, on a daily base. And just some of the things that come out of people's mouths now, especially these just after high school, early college kids. Oh my God. It's unbelievable.
It just brings you back to they're trying to erode the basic constitutional rights that we have. I'm sorry, as you said, little Billy and little Janie are not the same. Little Billy could pop 60 pounds on his shoulder with no problem. Little Janie could do 10.
Since
But
when was being the same?
yeah, my wife just asked the question. Well, I'll ask you to the side panel, as a side chat in the panel. My wife just asked, when was being the same supposed to be good? When was it ever supposed to be a good thing for everybody to be the same?
Didn't Hitler try to do that? Try to make everybody
Yes.
the same?
You know,
I thought.
I think Hitler, Mussolini, and Castro,
Stalin, Mao,
Stalin.
Marx, they all tried to make everybody the same. Never ended well for any of them. What did being labeled as being the same as me and Blue and I are not the same. We may have similar knowledge, but we're not the same. If we were the same, then I'd be bald. He'd be one-eyed. That would be an interesting combination. But the point is, being the same is not a good thing. You don't move forward. Any species on the planet that couldn't adapt, overcome, and develop skills that set them apart from the other members of their same species died. They all died out. Case in point, look at the dinosaurs. And for those flat earthers, yes, there is such a thing as dinosaurs. Fuck off. I do have flat earthers too.
Flat earthers. Have they never watched the NASA live streams from the space station?
That's all fake.
That's all.
It's all fake.
It's all Hollywood.
I looked at the research. It's all fake. It's we've been duped. According to them, the Earth is a pie plate that's tilted sideways, and it's increasing in speed. That's how we got. Oh my God! It's their fucking excuses and stuff.
Wait, we've been duped about flat Earthism, just like we've been duped about guns at getting up and going down the block and shooting people with nobody behind them.
oh, the dinosaur.
Well, people keep saying guns are the problem. I know I've got a piece. It sits right here. It can sit here for a month and never get up and shoot a soul, but my gun's the problem.
One of my wife's friends came in the house one day, and she seen that I had a reloading room, and she was like, "Oh my God, you deal with guns?" I pulled my gun out of my waist, I laid it on the counter, and I said, "Be good, don't shoot anybody. Wait for me to come back." And I walked out of the room. I came back and I said, "Were you a good gun and not shoot anybody while I was gone?" And she was looking at me like I was crazy. And it's like, no, what you said is crazy. I'm just demonstrating to you that this thing is a paperweight until I pull the trigger. That's all it is. It's a paperweight. This is a paperweight. It's holding down my shelf right now under my computer.
Exactly my point. It doesn't get up, didn't grow legs or a brain and say, "Hey, I'm going to go shoot the other 3 guys on this panel. I'm going to run to their houses no matter how far away they are and kill them." Stupidity.
Yeah, the assault on gun ownership is just so ridiculous. And I know we don't even have to get into that because that's just preaching to the choir. Everybody here knows, there's so many things that's more dangerous and kill more people every year. And I don't even want to get into it. It's just ridiculous, but it is what it is. It's just, there's fucking idiots out there.
Well, it all ties into what I said when we started. Let's talk about the stupidity of people, but it all falls back onto the stupidity of people. I mean, they're just chopping away at what fundamentally makes us America. So we could be like the EU. The EU is not doing so good. I mean, even the leaders of the EU are saying, we're not doing so good. Look at Brexit. It's case in point. Greece, a few years ago, they're not doing so good. Why the hell do we want to emulate people that we know aren't doing so good?
I don't. Blue, question for you.
False.
How about what kind of encounters do you run into being an officer? I mean, what kind of stupidity do you run into in dealing with the public on a personal base like you do?
Oh my God, you hate saying it just point blank, but people are stupid. I mean, it's just my biggest pet peeve in doing what I do is, when did we stop becoming neighbors? If you and I were neighbors, and let's say, shit, I work night shift, you work daylight shift, and you're out cutting down a tree, mowing your grass, making a whole shitload of noise at 9 o'clock in the morning when I just fell asleep. When did that become a police issue? For me to call the police and say, look, my neighbor's out cutting their grass, making all this noise. When did it change to where I couldn't come over to you, even if we really didn't know each other, as a neighbor, and say, hey, you know, I work nights. I realize you're in the day. Can you hold off maybe 4 or 5 hours before you start making all the noise so that I can get a little bit of sleep? And it's a reciprocal thing. You know, I mean, if you're just a dick, you know what I mean? Then you're a dick and you're not going to respect what I had asked. But there again, I could get home at, 3 o'clock in the morning, fire up my tractor and, do whatever. But I don't understand where we as a society lost the capability to walk over to your neighbor and say, hey, look, this is my issue. Is there anything we can do to work this out? It automatically becomes a battle.
The 80s. The 80s.
Now, see, I guess I'm very lucky I live on the block I live on, because that's how we treat each other in my neighborhood. You know, my dog ran off today. My wife was cleaning the car. I went inside. Jeffrey ran off. He went over to the neighbors to say hi to them. So they picked him up and brought him back over.
Oh, fuck no.
And it's friendly.
You call the cops. My fucking neighbor's dog is off the fucking leash. I want him cited. What the fuck?
Well, everybody wants everybody else to get in trouble so they can feel superior. See, in the 80s, I'll say even in the mid-70s, it started when people changed from you helping your neighbor. Like I said, the world compass that used to go this way is going this way now. And it has been since the mid-70s. The 80s and early 90s, it got even worse, where everybody, like somebody said in the side chat, sue happy, because a lot of people want that free handout. They figure if somebody fucks with me enough, or does shit to annoy me enough, I can sue them for a civil infraction and get paid for it. And hence why the breed of lawyer jumped up 1,000%. The occupation of lawyer, especially civil lawyer, jumped up 1,000%, literally 1,000% from 1987 all the way up until now. Look on your regular television, you'll see 100 commercials every few hours. If you watch each of the commercials and just don't blank through them like most people do, you'll see all these personal injury lawyers, civil defense lawyers, all this other crap, because people decided they wanted money over friendships, over relationships with your neighbor, when in fact, if the shit hits the fan, I don't know you, Hot Pot, but I'd rather have the three of you in my foxhole than a bag of cash.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're in my foxhole, we're all fighting for the same thing, our lives. That bag of cash ain't doing shit for me. And I try to treat everybody, I believe in the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. A really basic concept that gets lost because it was akin to religion of some sort. That rule extended long before any sort of organized real religion ever came into it. It was just adopted by most religions because that's the way you should live.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do anything that I wouldn't do anything to Blue that I wouldn't want to do to myself. And vice versa. I wouldn't want him to do shit to me that I wouldn't do to him. But nobody has a consequence anymore. Everybody figures that if I fuck with Blue long enough, I could get him fired just by saying he called me a one-eyed bastard or called me gay or made fun of my peg leg or some dumb shit, so I can get paid, sue the government, make money, sit on my ass for the rest of my life. I don't have to have friends. I can buy them. That's the mentality now.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to the point, and this is no bullshit. We actually got called for it wasn't even a neighborhood dispute. It was because a lot of my patrol area is woods, creeks, farmland. This creek ran through this guy's property. It was trout season. He's out fishing. A limb, this guy is on another person's property. He asked permission. Hey, you mind if I, walk down the bank and fish, do this and that? A limb fell and hit him in the head and caused him devastating injuries, which was not. He got hit by a twig. I mean, it was a little bigger than a twig. He ended up getting sued, and the attorney during one of the court hearings, not for this, but just a different thing, was asking me, do you know this guy? Do you know this and this? I'm like, yeah, the guy's an asshole who's always out to try to make a fucking dollar. That's all he ever is. And he's like, yeah, that's kind of what I took, what I'm taking from it. We're just, we're suing the guy's homeowner's insurance. We call them nuisance, what the hell? Nuisance lawsuits, to where if they fight it, they could pay big bucks, but they'll pay out like 10,000. So the attorney makes, you know, 4 and the quote unquote plaintiff makes 6. And he does this all the time. It's like, you've got to be shitting me. If I'm on your land and I'm dumb enough to stand underneath a tree that has dead limbs or whatever, and I get hit with one, how is that your fault? I don't understand that.
My range is on a friend of mine's property. He has 22 acres, got a beautiful pond, beautiful woods. He gave me an acre to set a range up on. And he knows I'm the kind of man that if I go out there and if I get hit with shrapnel, if I trip over something, if a branch falls down and hits me while I'm out playing jungle dude, running through the woods with my AR, it's on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one out there doing it. He's not making me do it. He's giving me permission to go out there, but I'm responsible for myself.
Yep.
And I understand that. And I've had this discussion with him because he expressed concerns about it. And I told him, I said, man, there's no way if I'm shooting my steel plates and I get whacked in the head with some shrapnel, I'm not calling your home insurance. I'm going to the hospital and using my medical insurance. Yep. And I'm going to tell them I did it to myself.
Yep.
Now, that brings up a good question. Can I sue my insurance company after I shot myself?
In this day and age, yes. Should you? No.
If you were in California or Florida, absolutely.
Look at all these fucking lawsuits. And I'm just going to use law enforcement as the number one thing. You know, TR goes out on a fucking rampage. He's on a bender. He pulls out a gun and he shoots 2 people. And he's walking down the road with his gun and he's just popping off shots. The cops show up and, you know, drop the gun, drop this. You've obviously committed a fucking crime. He refuses to comply, turns on the officers. They shoot him fucking dead. His family has the right to sue them for a wrongful death. That is not wrongful. He's being a fucking asshole.
I got one even better for you. Okay. Blue, you get into a car accident. Okay. You DUI, just hypothetically. Get into a car accident. Hit a car. You get off on the DUI charge due to lack of evidence. No breathalyzer, no blood, no field sobriety, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
They can still sue you civilly for an accident that you were found not guilty of.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll win. The law is so fucked up because it comes to my next topic. When do we stop prosecuting people for committing a crime? Okay. Back in the old days, you had 2 options. You went to jail, you got hung. Okay. Those were your only 2 options. There were no rehab. There was no send you to a halfway house for committing a crime. You steal a chicken, you got you got hung. 9 times out of 10, depending upon what state you were in before we became a country, you got hung, stood in the stocks for 10 days. Then you were done. You were no longer considered a criminal. Mm-hmm. You got your rights back, whatever the rights were for that particular state or colony. We've made everything so convoluted that if you get into a fist fight, you and I get into a fist fight, you're the one that started the fight, you go to jail for assault, say for a year, or 1129 in Tennessee, which is the bare minimum you can go, or the maximum you can go, and not it be considered a felony. It's still considered a misdemeanor in Tennessee for 1129. I still lose my rights. Can't own a gun. Can't do this. Can't do that. But I served my time. I paid my restitution. When the fuck do I get my stuff back?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the same thing with, being the civil law and the criminal law. Bullshit. If you get found not guilty of a crime, you should be able to be held accountable for it civilly.
Yep.
I don't care if you like the law or not. If you don't like the law, change the law, but don't add more laws on now to make innocent people have to pay people for shit they were found not guilty of.
Yep.
Here, let's lighten this just for a second. I got a really cool 12 gauge bottle opener. Isn't that cool? My wife got me that for Christmas.
What's on the inside of the shell that keeps it from bending?
It glued, I guess. Shoved down in there.
I like that.
Whatever it is, it does not have a problem opening my beer.
I'm pretty sure that
outstanding.
is probably illegal because that is way below the minimum length for a 12 gauge bottle opener.
Can I answer a question in the side chat real quick? I don't mean to
Yeah,
butt
go
in,
ahead.
gentlemen. Inside, I lived for over 27 years, 25 years between Knoxville and Florida, up and down the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast originally. Yeah, I've only been out in California about 2 years. I just took my wife back to see what Knoxville looks like, because she's never really been to that neck of the woods, and she loved it there. But I love the Smokies. Loved them a whole lot.
Tennessee's beautiful. I lived down between Fort Lauderdale and Miami between 90 and 97. Loved it. I love living down there during that time period. It's completely changed now. But during that time period, there was a lot of rock and roll action going on. A lot of bands were coming out of Florida. Just a lot of good things.
Well, I can say, since I've visited it several times, Tennessee, well, I mean, I already know the damn Appalachian Mountains are gorgeous anyway, but Tennessee's a pretty state. And going up to Nashville, even as big as it is, there's a good vibe there. I know every city has its bad spots. I don't care how little or big the town is or city. But Nashville was really cool hanging out around there. It was just a really good vibe. I know there's a lot of tourism and stuff, but it's a very friendly place. To be as big as it is, it was very friendly.
Yeah, I was traveling racing motorcycles, and I was out in California and coming back, and we stopped in Memphis to go to Graceland because I wanted to see the home of Elvis, the King. So, but we stayed there about a week, just kind of bugging around, staying in a room, seeing a couple sites. And it seemed that every restaurant we went into, every store we went into, everybody was just over the top friendly. They didn't care what color you were. They didn't care what accent you had. They were grateful, they seemed like they were just grateful to meet you. And that blew me over the top. So my impression of Memphis, Tennessee was outstanding.
Let me say something real quick, gentlemen. I firmly support the boys in blue, as well as my brothers and sisters that are still serving our country. I just wanted to get that out there because some people are very anti-cop, anti-military. We got a lot of people that are talking to the side chat, but you got a few trolls that are listening, and I occasionally get a couple of messages, how I'm a cop hater or any of that dumb shit. Just like I get comments all the time that I'm a racist, a misogynist, an Islamophobe, a homophobe, a xenophobe, a germaphobe. I'm like, I'm married to a Filipino. None of my children are white. They're all of mixed heritage. And I have cousins who serve on NYPD. I'm a very big police supporter. And blue, I don't get how they could say that it's a racist flag, because technically it's not been labeled a racist flag yet. It's a flag that's been labeled to be used by racists. Mm-hmm. That's the Democratic battle flag. That's what that was. I just wanted to.
At some point, maybe not now, but just type in Google police officer suspended or police officer fired for having the quote unquote Confederate flag hanging, in their garage, in their home, not out in the public per se, but a neighbor saw it and they end up getting fired for it. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But you know what the number one flag is? The KKK flew or fly? That one.
You give it a couple more years, TR.
But now I will say this: I'm gonna butt in. Never trust a cop. I know this from personal experience. I was at this event, and I had this policeman ask me to see my phone, and I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And next thing I know, this policeman was posting on my Facebook account how I like to snuggle up to men and how I like to spoon with other men. I was explaining myself for weeks after that. I'm not going to name any names.
Blue, why'd you do that to TR? Why'd you do that to TR, Blue? How dare you, man? You didn't send me any? What the hell?
Cops are dicks. Especially
Man,
when you're around like the grown-up Boy Scouts and there's alcohol flowing. Cops are dicks.
Hey guys, say hello to Angel R. He's a friend of mine and Luke's. I think you might know him, TR. He usually hangs out with me and Luke a lot. Got a whole lot of knowledge. A really good guy.
Was he on there now?
He's just came into the side chat to say hello to you gentlemen. We're doing some promotion for you, TR.
I don't know who he's talking to.
His name is Angel. He's in the side chat. He came in. I've been promoting for TR, for the channel, for the shows, to get more people in. Some of the guys like Brother Luke. Angel's a big time, got a lot of knowledge, really smart guy. TR, you would love him. He's a lot like Luke in a lot of instances, or Asim.
I'll tell you what, I've got a lot of police officers in my life. One of my best friends is over a 23-year police veteran, and he is right now he's with the state of Ohio adult felony parole. And I'll tell you what, man, I couldn't ask for a better friend, a more honest person in my life, someone to tell me straight up the way things are. And I highly, highly respect all police, all military, EMTs, firemen. It's utmost respect.
And I'll be the first one to say, even being in law enforcement, there are some cops that I don't respect. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, you respect them all until the point where they cross that line and you can see what's going on. I mean, and I've been a big proponent. TR, I've been on your chats for I don't know how many years now. And my biggest battle call is I'm sick and tired of when a police officer does do something wrong, that they round the fucking wagons around that guy. No, fuck that. Do not do that, because that makes everybody look bad. If you fuck up, you fuck up. Take your knocks, and if it means go to jail, go to jail. But I mean, and I think that's why there is I don't want to say so much hatred, but there's so much trepidation with some community and their police force, is because everybody can see that cop fucked up. He did something majorly fucking wrong, and he's walking on it.
Yeah, we've talked about this many times throughout the years, and just what you're saying, don't fucking circle the wagons around, because I don't care what profession you're in. I don't care what you do for a living. If there's more than one person there, and sometimes not even that, there's probably an asshole in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And
look,
there's a cover for them just because you think, well, yeah, they do the same thing I do. I got to cover. No, you can't. You don't have to cut. He's a fucking dickhead, or she's a dickhead. They fucked up. Don't protect them, especially in a profession. Okay, we'll throw out cops and military and everything. Say the profession I'm in now. I work on big equipment, high voltage. And if you fuck up, you can hurt somebody. You can kill somebody. And I'm not covering for the dickhead just putting other people's lives in danger. And actually, you could, cross over and go into the military and police with that too. If he's fucking up and putting lives in danger, I call it out right off the bat. I mean, I have begged and pleaded for people to be fired. I don't want to see anybody lose their job. But if they're endangering other people, I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Get them out of here before they hurt or maim, kill somebody.
Yep.
I agree. Problem with that is, though, it goes back to our social schism. we're all broken up into tribes. It becomes tribalism at its core. So I've been through boot and I've been through some advanced training when I was in service, and they always drill into you, us first, everybody else second. So I would protect my brothers to the left and right of me against anything and everybody. That's just the indoctrination that they do to you. Same thing with the police force. You know, they have similar paramilitary training. But people, by and large, gravitate to their own. So if somebody from their own does something and screws up against their tribe, then they'll deal with it. But if somebody screws up against somebody outside of that tribal community that they've, affixed themselves in, they're always going to protect their own against the outsiders. It's not right, but that's just human nature. That's just really human nature. Because if you let one person go for something getting screwed up, then when does it stop? Is the premise. I believe if you fuck up, you take your shots, you serve your penance, you do your time, and you go. You're done. But nowadays, everybody's looking to get by as easy as possible with as little friction, a little work as possible, by and large. Not everybody, but a good percentage.
Patch is right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's like I said, it's what I do for a living. Hell, even when I was in the military, I don't give a damn if it got all the way back to boot camp. This is like, they were a few guys. One in particular is like, get this guy out of here. He don't need to be here. We don't need him. America don't need him. I mean, I applaud him for his effort, but no.
But that's you and me that could say that. Well, that's you that could say that because you were in that unit, you were in that group, you were in that tribe. Well, let somebody, look at the interbattles between the branches of the service. You know, the Marines fight everybody. The Army fights the Air Force and the Navy. The Navy fights the Marines and the Army. I can have assholes that I'm out at the bar drinking with that I don't particularly care for, and they get into a fight with another branch of the service. I'm going to automatically jump to the side of the guys that are in my branch without even thinking about it, because that's my branch. I'm going to defend the guys that may one day be on the boat with me and save me from drowning or save me from whatever catastrophe could happen. But if they fuck with one of us internally, we deal with it internally. So the outside doesn't even know that there's dissension amongst the ranks. But you always put on that, fuck these people that aren't us. They're not going to get through this here to get into here, into the soft, squishy meat of the tribe. Yeah, and that's just how we are genetically predisposed.
Yeah, yeah. I see where you come from. I mean, that is true, because the military fucks with each other hard until, and you know this, I know you know
until a civilian steps foot and
until a civilian steps in. That's what I was going to say. If a civilian steps in, everybody's like, that dude is fucked.
he just doesn't know. He doesn't realize yet how fucked he really is. So he's got an ass kicking by 30 guys that are from all different branches of the service. Go like, no, fuck you. You're not hit one of our own. No, we're not going to have that. But we take it to the nth degree nowadays. It's like their own little clandestine little groups now. It almost feels like, in a lot of ways. And if you're not part of that group, then you're considered less than. And in some instances, you are less than. You know, depending upon what that group is. You know, if you're a group of MIT professors, yeah, I'm less than, because, you know, they spent 40 years in school while I had to work for a living. But yeah, it's just crazy.
And it may be some of my military background, I don't know, or my raising or whatever. But like I said, I mean, I have problems with people I have worked with over the years. And even though they're in my team or whatever, maybe not necessarily blasted out to the whole world to have a problem, but at least to my upper management, you know, my boss. I'm like, get that guy out of here. You know, just, I don't care. You know, get rid of him, you know. And I know things don't work out always like that, you know, where people like, you know, eating their own or whatever, but I don't give a damn. I mean, it's like, if you're endangering other people, if you're causing problems for me, fuck you. I don't give a damn.
TR, I've been a business owner for over 30 years, and I've had to fire my best friends because of them fucking up too many times. Could not, yeah, I could not, you know, I could not tolerate that in my business. There's just no way. Not with what I do. You know, with what I do is very personal. You know, and I expected all of my employees to treat every customer with respect, with dignity, and with a good personal touch. And if you didn't do that, I don't care how tight we were outside of the work. You're out the door. Sorry, buddy. You know.
It all goes back to the moral compass thing. And nobody wants to be held accountable for their actions because they feel that, okay, Blue and I, we're in the same combat unit. And Blue, I do something stupid and fuck up and kill civilians. And Blue covers for me because now they don't want the division, the unit to take the hit. Because now once I take the hit, shit rolls downhill. So the blowback comes back on everybody else in the unit as well. The idea of people standing up and being accountable for the things they do, both good and bad, has kind of gone out the window when all that matters is what you can prove. You know, rule of law now is just a matter of what you can prove. If you can't prove it, it never happened. It's just crazy. Our moral compass needs to go back this way, straight up and down, like it used to.
Well, actually, we've come full circle back to how we kind of started, maybe not this conversation, but earlier in this conversation, where we were talking about not everybody's the same. Not everybody is as able to do the same job as somebody else. There is a, let me see if I can get it straight. Not everybody is qualified to do every job. And I ain't even talking about genders or anything else. It's like my profession in maintenance, you know, fixing machines and robots and doing all the stuff I do.
I'd get you
You
killed.
can't teach somebody to do that. Either they got the knack for it or they don't.
Nope. I would get you killed in your profession. In a half second, I would fucking wire something up and it would explode.
Absolutely, me too.
Same here. Yeah. I mean, I can build bombs. I can build computers. I couldn't do it with what TR does. I couldn't do what any of you guys do because I have my own skill sets that I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all of you have your own skill sets that you're good at. Blues is being pepper spray and a baton, you know. But
well, that's the beautiful part about individuality, is that we all have specific talents and skill sets. So when you try to say that everybody's equal, well, not everybody can deal with a 2, 4, 6, 8 phase electrical unit. There's no way. I'd blow myself up.
Mm-hmm. In the way that I look, that I do my job well, is in 18 years, I've got my ass whooped one time and I've been sued one time. I think that's pretty goddamn good, you know, especially in the profession I'm in. I mean, it's, you know, I've never shot anybody. I've never, you know, the one lawsuit was for excessive force, but it really wasn't. I still can't get into the details of that one, but an individual ended up with a broken leg. But the law enforcement that were involved with that arrest, as far as I know, none of the officers got sued or found guilty of like excessive force or anything to where there was a settlement. It was the property owner, which was a bar, because of the way they had their parking lot set up with raised and lowered steps without having markings or whatever. And basically the person, when they were being taken down, ended up with a broken leg. But yeah, that was the only lawsuit I was ever involved in. And I had my goddamn dog snapping at the person, wanting to bite and tear their ass apart. And I used enough restraint, even though I was getting hit in the head with a fucking purse, not to fucking let the dog maul a lady over getting hit in the head with a purse. You know, I mean, it was like getting hit in the head with a purse. It kind of hurts, but I'm not going to die from this. if I let my dog go, she is going to fucking sustain serious bodily injury. And whenever she ended up getting taken down, it was like in that spot where the steps and everything were. But it's just, that's the only time I was ever sued. And the judge, I don't want to say the judge laughed, but I was found nothing because I had a hold of her with one hand, dog in the other hand. And the judge is like, well, why didn't you just let the dog go? I was like, Judge, if I would have done that, she would have been fucked up. And I mean, you have to have I don't want to say a level head because you always want to survive. But if you can't differentiate between a female that's drunk swinging a purse versus somebody with a ball bat to where you would fucking let the dog go, you shouldn't be where you're at.
Oh, so you're a canine officer, Blue.
Yes.
That's funny because a very, very good friend of mine who is a senior retired officer of this county that I live in is a canine trainer.
Mm. It was a good gig. I did it for 13 years, and my last partner, actually, I still have him. He's back here laying down. He retired a year ago on Cinco de Mayo. So, and then I was done. I'm like, I've been doing this for way too many years. I got kids now, and I can't dedicate the time to the training and stuff. So I just couldn't do it any longer.
That's really nice that you kept him. That's fabulous.
He's 13. He's an old asshole.
So you're still doing PD work, aren't you, Blue?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you still doing PD work?
Oh yeah. I can't retire from that for another 12 years, unfortunately.
Ouch. I'm gonna send you my dog. You can train him for a while, and then just send him back to me when he stops acting stupid when neighbors come around. He hates my neighbors. He hates anybody that's not us. And mind you, he just grew up that way. Come to my house and they don't know you, he's going after you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a lab pit mix. He's about 80 pounds. Big goofball dog, but if he don't know you or you wake him up out of a dead sleep and he hears you coming up the stairs like a train coming down the tracks, he's all hackles all the way up to his the hair between his eyes flits out like this. You're like, the fuck? I've got an Ewok. An 80-pound Ewok with fangs. And he keeps looking at me as I'm talking about him. He's like, yes, I'm going to bite you later, Dad. But we've had him since he was 2, and he's a smart dog, but he just does not like people. No. Well, he's 2 years old now, my bad. We've had him since he was like 5 weeks old. But he's just so antisocial. And not a negative way. You could be outside, all right, but the minute you come into the house, he's got that fight, flight in him. There's a study that's been shown that most dogs bite because they're afraid. No, he bites or goes after you because he doesn't want you coming into the house to hurt.
Territorial. He's just super territorial.
Yes, extremely.
But getting back a little bit to what you were saying, Blue, and this is just a little theory that I have, and a lot of people I know. There ain't nobody above a ass whooping.
Amen. I've received plenty of those in my growing up years.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been many times I probably needed ass whooping. I know not to run my mouth too much because I might get my ass whooped. And if I'm running my mouth and spouting off the wrong shit and I get my ass whooped, I probably deserved it. So
pretty much.
It's not quite what you were talking about, Blue, but that's what was going through my mind. I'm like, ain't nobody above ass whooping.
Right.
My theory is if you're going to get an ass whooping, you're coming to the hospital with me. You're going to remember me. I'm going to pull a Mike Tyson, except I might bite your nose off as opposed to the ear. There's a little bit more meat in the nose than there is cartilage in the ear. So,
well, yeah. I'm kind of thinking more like where you're stepping out of you're the one stepping out of line, and this kind of in general thinking how, like, I know it's kind of died out right now, but like the Antifa and these freaking liberals just screaming and yelling and wanting to rip signs out of people's hands. And it's like people think that I can't get my ass whooped. I can do whatever the fuck I want. No, you can't. You might get your ass whooped.
Now, Rick Netherly says the hardest part of an ass whooping is living with it. I don't agree with that. I've had an ass whooping and I've given an ass whooping, but it was both learning experiences, because the couple times I've had an ass whooping, I deserved it because I was being an ass.
Yep.
You know, and then a couple times I've given an ass whooping, well, they were being an ass. And I got into a fight with a guy in a bar one time. Didn't know him from Adam. He just come at me out of the blue. And I whipped his ass. Well, about a month later, I seen him on the street. I was walking downtown in the city I lived in, and I passed him and I said, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And he was like, I was like, "Hey, man, this is not the bar. We're not drunk. You know, it shit happens. It happens."
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't hold anything ill against him. Of course, I'm the one who whipped his ass, but but I could still take the time to still respect him as a human being. You know, it was just a drunken stupor fight. That's all it was.
I got my ass whooped by my mom once whenever I was 18. And that was a learning experience. I thought, hey, I'm 18, I'm an adult. I can do what the fuck I want, even though I'm living in my parents' house. And I came home drunker than shit. I ended up going down a flight of steps. Deserved every bit of that.
Taught you better to talk back to your mom, ain't it?
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things where you're an 18-year-old versus a 30, well, probably 40 something at that point in time. But as soon as she fucking knocked my ass down them steps, I was like, no, I'm going to bed. And then she dropped me from the car insurance the next day. And that was one of those life experiences, I mean, it's
yeah, you never talk back to mom, grandma, aunt, and you might want to question the sister because she can get you when you're sleeping.
It was definitely an attitude adjustment, but my mom's the one that carried that one out.
I think the last time I truly got my ass whooped, I know is the only time my father ever hit me with a fist. It was my dad. He literally beat my ass. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't like just like wailing on me or anything like that. But I was out of high school, 18, drunk, flipped the fucking car over, and he was just like, I mean, later on, I got it looking back at it. I scared the shit out of him because I almost killed myself. I was fine, but I could have. And he was so mad at me, he literally beat my ass. I was just like standing there with my head down, and he was like, ah, and then he would just like, bam, cold caught me. He just kept doing that. And I swear, I don't have any ill feelings to him because looking back at it, I know exactly what was going on. And I know I've told some people, Blue's seen me in person. I'm literally the shortest and smallest man in my family. My father's like fucking, well, he's passed now, but he was a huge man, and he beat my ass. And I was just like, I just took it. I never raised a hand. I never fucking tried to fight back because I was like, I'm drunk and I fucked up. I know I did. But anyway, that's the last ass whooping I got. And it's lasted a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten into many fist fights in the real world. I used to wrestle for a living, so I took a lot of ass beatings just from potatoes and stiff shots while we were wrestling. But I've never really gotten any real fist fights because I have the general attitude that I'm not going to leave the same way I can, so neither are you. But my father used to beat my ass as a kid up until I left home. And he tried it once when I came back, and it didn't work out so well for him that the next go around. And that was the last time I ever got a hand laid on me in anger that I could actually swing back on and actually damage somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got whippings all my life. I'm just saying that was the only time my dad actually hit me with a fist. And I scared him so bad that it freaked them out. You know, that's why I say, even at the time, I knew I had fucked up, and then later on, I mean, I looked at it and I was like, you know, I get why he freaked out on me, you know. But I never, not one time, had any ill feelings. He was a very stern, very strict parent. And his ass whoopings lasted at least 6 months to a year. I didn't get that many, but when I got him, holy shit, he whipped my ass hard. It's usually for lying. Who broke the lamp? I don't know. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
And you're the only one home.
Yeah.
Always blame the sibling that they never had. You always blame the imaginary sibling. It was Joe. He did it. And I think you got mental issues, so they won't beat your ass.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get all sentimental and stuff, but I think my dad did. He did what he could. He did the best he could. I was the oldest. He didn't know what to do when shit went sideways, so he just figured, you know, whip me. And somehow it's my fault. So it kind of made me grow up quick and make sure, you know, my sister and my younger brother, everything tried to go smooth. You know, I mean, I was always covering and, you know, looking out for them, because if something went wrong, my ass is the one that gets whipped, not them.
TR, can I, if you don't want to get into it, then don't. But I mean, I know you've brought up your brother's situation in the past. Do you think that because you may have tried to step in to protect, that the brother got away with more and more and more, and that's where he ended up? Or,
well, not so much my little brother, actually, because he was so much younger than me. It was the fact that he was the baby. He was an accident. He was a baby, and he was the baby. Not, you know, it wasn't always a baby. He was the baby, and it just had a lot to do with, like, they were clinging on to him or something.
mm-hmm.
They were a lot harsher on me and my sister, but he came along like I was born in 68. My brother was born in 76. So there's 12 years difference there. And he was like the last one. They knew he was going to be the last one. And they just hampered the shit out of him and didn't discipline him. And it just didn't work out. It could be just a generation of friends he hung out with. I don't know. But I do know that they whipped my ass on a constant basis. They never whipped him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I have to base my theories on why some kids just kind of go sideways, because they didn't get disciplined. Because I've seen it with my brother. I'm not saying that's 100% a way to look at it. That's just what I've seen.
I think it makes sense, though, because, I mean, you see that a lot. God damn it, dog. You scared the shit out of me.
Well, it's kind of like when you have your first kid, you don't know what you're doing. So everything is an issue. Everything is a crisis. And if you had 10 kids, by the 10th kid, you're like, oh, wait. So he didn't stab himself through the eye with a pencil. He's just licking lead-lined walls. Okay, it's okay for now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's like those commercials to where, you know, your first kid drops their bink on the ground and they pick it up and they fucking disinfect it. Then they put it through the dishwasher and they re-disinfect it before they give it back to them. By the time you have the third kid, it's like, yep, pick it up, put it back in your mouth.
Pretty much, yeah. Exactly.
I was just thinking of that Blue commercial with that. That's exactly the truth. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Fuzz says I was pampered, breastfed till I was 18. Fuzz, you freak.
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be a shut-off point on that somewhere.
Right?
Yeah. At one point, that gets a little weird.
Yeah. Once the tit hits the knee, you should be done.
Once they can start walking and carrying it in both hands, as they're walking down the mall, then you just got to cut it off. It's got to be enough.
Definitely by the time a kid can talk, they don't need to be breastfeeding.
Yeah, Fred says, "What? No, is my mother either."
There's nothing wrong with that, Fuzz.
No, I think that's normal.
Yeah.
You guys want to
Because
hear stupid?
I'm almost 52, and I still enjoy being breastfed.
I think even from my experiences, even women like to see other women's boobs.
Very true. But this brings me to what Fuzz was talking about, you know, being 18. My wife and I were watching a video, came up on Facebook, and she showed it to me. This couple was standing, it was at a Starbucks, wasn't it? Honey?
No, it was like a sandwich shop.
Oh, it's like a sandwich shop, like a Subway or whatever. And this man and woman, the woman's in front of the guy, so they're like, it's like this. This is the woman, this is the man. He reaches over, wraps his arms around his girlfriend's neck, and is leaning on her while the person in front of them is ordering their meal. She reaches over and he like kisses the back of her neck or something. He kissed the back of her neck. The bitch in front of them turns around and says, "Really? Are you going to fuck her in here? You're going to fuck her in front of me? You're raping this woman in front of me," and went on this 20-minute tirade. How the two people behind her were fornicating. She actually used the word fornicating in her presence in this shop with the employees there. How dare you? She called the cops.
Wow.
Saying this man was raping his girlfriend in the fucking the sandwich shop. At the end of the day, the stupid got showed the door, but the point was, people have, it's just, where does the stupidity end? And why do they have to procreate the species? That's my dog.
That's a big dog. That ain't that little goddamn dog you had.
No, that's my lab pit mix. That's Dino. Hold on, let me see if I can get him in the camera without getting away from the camera real quick.
No.
Dino, come here. Look what I got. Come here. Come here. Come here. He's like, "You're not giving it to me, so I'm not coming over there."
Sausages?
Oh, no, we got some Popeye's fried chicken for dinner. And he likes Popeye's fried chicken. D, come here. Come here. He's like, "Nope, you're not giving me that, so screw you." Never mind. He doesn't want to be, he's camera shy now all of a sudden.
I'll pick up mine real quick, and I'll see if I can get my boy in.
Oh,
he's down
that's
here.
so pretty.
Where is he at? Where is he? Oh, wrong way. Hold up. I'm trying to do this like backwards.
Oh, that's his canine partner. He just retired last year.
It's a
Yeah, he was a canine cop.
shepherd.
Yep.
That's my boy.
That's his boy.
Aww.
Who's a good boy, Dino? See, if you're not nice, I'm gonna take that dog.
You say
There
hi?
you go. Oh, he's cute. He is cute.
I hate saying it, but he's to the point where I'm to the point in his life to where, you know, I mean, shepherds always have the hip dysplasia and all this other shit, and he's starting to show signs. And it's not that I'm being, I don't even know the right word. I want to wake up one day and call him to go outside and he's just dead, instead of having to go through the stroke or the where he can't walk. And
Right. You just want it to be a quick thing. One night you go to bed, wake up, he's not there, as opposed to having to wasting away or having to put him down yourself because he's too bad.
right now his head's good. He can still walk. I mean, he's having trouble with steps and stuff. But I don't want to get to that point to where I have to make the decision to basically end his life over fucking something he has no control over.
Well, you know, my little dog is, oh, there he is. Look, he's peeking in the camera. Oh,
That's my Dino. That's my baby boy. Yes, I love you too. You're still not getting none of my chicken, so you can go to hell. No. You're a good boy.
Am I going on the bus with you, Daddy?
He's like, my wife said, "Is he going on the bus with you?" That's a good boy.
you know, my little dog's 13 now, and Maltese lived till 15 to 18 years, and he's getting to the point now. He's got steps up by the bed, so he can get up on the bed. He's got steps downstairs on the couch if he wants to use them. And you know, I love him. He's part of my life, so I will accommodate for him until I can't anymore.
Yep.
And then I will wear him around my neck the rest of my life.
That's how I feel about Dino.
Yep. Yeah, I lost my first canine partner. He got hit by a car.
Oh no.
Yeah, that sucked ass. I only had him for 2 years, and he ended up getting hit by a car, and it was that was rough, but it was quick, so I kind of got over it relatively quick. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, it happened, it sucked, it, you know. But having him as long as I've had him, man, it's like, fuck.
Yeah,
I was telling my wife the other day, this is the first dog. I've had a lot of dogs growing up. This is the first dog that you could say is almost exclusively a daddy's dog, because he lays right here next to me when I'm on the computer. And as you can see, he likes to grab a hold of me and pull me. But he's just, I don't know, there's just something about this particular dog. Just a big baby, but at the same time, if you come in the house and he don't like you, you heard that bark. And that was just an alert bark. He scared the hell of our property manager today for the apartment complex we live in. She's only about 4'9", and they were doing some of the yearly inspections. I had him crated up. I put a blanket over top of the crate so he couldn't see people. So because he tends to flip out if you come into his territory. So they're checking the hot water heater. And I said, this little lady's like 4'9". I'd never seen ass and legs move so fast in my life. Once she started barking in that fucking kennel, she took off like her ass was on fire. I thought she was going to run through the wall to get out of the apartment. It's funny as shit. Just as bark alone scares people.
Put a few pets down, and that definitely is rough. I mean, I put a couple of them down myself, which makes it worse, I think. I don't know if it makes it worse or not. I don't know, but that's fucked up. But at the same time, if a human gave me reason, I'd never fucking lose a sleep a wink. Exactly. I mean, lose a wink of sleep. I'll get it out.
Ain't that the bitch, though?
Yeah.
I can never see me hurting my dog. But if you came into my house and you didn't belong here, you'd get met with lead, and I would not give a shit where I shot you.
Yeah, exactly. That's fucked up. It's not really fucked up because, like I say, well, the pets are innocent. I couldn't shoot an innocent person. I couldn't harm an innocent person. But if you mean harm to me or somebody I love, or hell, they could be a fucking stranger. Well, there you go, Blue. That's what he does for a living. He protects strangers, and people he knows too. But but an animal, it's like they're innocent, even though they're suffering or hurting or whatever. It just like, holy shit, that stuff just pulls at your gut,
Yep, but you got another 10 years, don't you? Exactly.
He's got that gray beard starting there, Blue.
Yeah. I keep
character.
He's got 10 years, baby, 10. But he's technically one of the oldest police dogs ever in service history, because whenever he retired, he was 12. So he's technically one of the oldest. Because 9 times out of 10, with service dogs with police work, even if it's not, going out on tracks every day or going out and doing bites every day, just the in and out of the car, he's jumping in and out of an SUV. I mean, that's a lot of hits on the joints, plus with the bite work and stuff. They usually don't last more than 8 years. So I'm very thankful that he's given me this much love, I guess, love, service, and
I think I don't really want to dwell on this, but since we're talking about it, the first time I had to put one of my own animals down, I hadn't even moved out of my parents' house yet, but I was probably 18. And a guy hit one of our dogs. Wasn't his fault. Dog got out of the fence, in the road. And it was late at night, 11, 12 o'clock, whatever. And he hit the dog, but it wasn't dead yet. And he didn't really know what to do. He was a friend. I went to school with him. I knew him, grew up around him, whatever. And he was so distraught. He was so upset, and I had to, it was like I was consoling him that it wasn't his fault, but I had to take a gun out there and finish it off. And that was the first time I killed one of my pets. And like I said, it was with my parents. It was our pets or whatever, but you didn't want to see the dog suffer, blah, blah, blah. And that was the first time, and that was hard. Holy shit. You know, I mean, like I said, I think even at 18, I could have shot a man quicker than I could have shot that dog.
That's because
I agree.
that's because an animal does not judge you. An animal gives you honest love. If you treat an animal with respect and kindness, they will treat you right back the same way with no judgment.
Yep.
You know, my little dog.
Experiments done that say you could mistreat an animal and it'll still always love you.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't advise doing that, but you know, I did, especially with dogs. They've done studies that if a homeowner is constantly abusing their pet, it may bite everybody else, but it'll always love their owner because, as you said, they don't judge you. You know, that's I just couldn't see me hurting one of my dogs or one of your dogs. I like all animals. People, on the other hand, no, I could see me hurting. They had ill intention.
You know, I love going to, you know, being in law enforcement. You get the call for, hey, I think this animal's being mistreated. I think this, and this. And you go up to the house and you're talking to the person. Oh no, this dog is great. You know, look, come check this dog out. And he calls the dog, and as the dog's coming over, the fucking tail's between the legs, the ears are all laid back, and he reaches out to pet it, and the dog flinches like it's gonna get beat. You know what, fucker? You don't deserve this dog.
Amen, Brother Blue. Amen. It's just like abusing children. I mean, it's the same premise. It's the same premise. I don't get it. Why people have to abuse other things to show their dominance.
Because they enjoy being something weak.
They enjoy being
very not expanding on that too much, but how much time we got? Anyway, I think this is just a personal kind of observance of people. We'll get off pets. People. The more nothing wrong with being proud. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how to explain this. The more somebody brags, the more somebody is a bully, the more somebody is running their mouth all the time, usually they're a very little person inside. You know, I mean, a confident person, somebody that is okay with herself is less likely to be a bully or to be the loud one at the cashier at Walmart or whatever. You know, I mean, if you're confident in yourself and you're sure of yourself, you're probably not a very loud person. And I don't mean that you don't do chats or joke around with your friends. I'm just saying in public around strangers, people, if I see them being very boisterous, or if that's the right word, you know, just loud and obnoxious and all that, I know that is actually a little person inside.
Note to self: don't go to the grocery store at TRprepper and embarrass the cashiers at the register. Note to self: duly noted.
Well, I don't mean being loud and friendly to people. I'm talking about the ones that's being an asshole to everybody, and
yeah,
just,
I get
you know, bucking that chest up and you know, bragging on herself, all that. I mean, you know, maybe I'm not a psychologist. I'm just going by what I think.
Oh no, I get you now, but I just had to toss that out there because when my wife and I go to the grocery store, we're constantly giving each other shit just to fuck with the cashiers and the people in line, just to do it. Just to get to see the reaction on their faces, because now she'll start talking crap, or I'll start talking crap to the cashier, like, yo, see that lady behind me? You gotta watch her. She's fucking mean. And the lady will look at my wife, and my wife looks all innocent and shit. I'm like, yeah, before I met her, I had 2 good eyes. And then my wife will look up at me and go, you know, I told you, I let you keep the other one if you shut your fucking mouth. I'm like, listen here, woman, keep talking your shit. I'm sending you back to the Philippines in a box with no holes in it. And I'm gonna get another mail order bride. Now the lady behind the register doesn't know that we're just kidding. So she's like, I don't know if I should laugh at that or call the cops. And then my wife looks at me and goes, oh, she's going to get the Russian one next time. I'm like, yep. She can't speak English. She's not Westernized. Just my kind of woman. And we leave the cashier kind of scratching her head going, what did I just witness? Because we're jerks like that. We like
Ain't
stuff
nothing wrong with that. That's a little different what I was actually thinking of in my mind. You know what I'm talking about.
Shay's like, watching Patch and his wife go at each other is funny as hell. They're not mad, but it sounds like they are. I'm like, exactly. That's how you have to do it. Keep them guessing. So what are you smoking on there, brother TR?
American Spirit. I do the vape. I got the vape too. I'm just, they're just not enough for me during the chats.
I get it.
I smoke an American Spirit every now and then, but I do vape too.
Right on. I can only vape because smoking cigarettes now still kills me. Got me a nice cigar here that I have yet to imbibe with, only because I don't want my lungs killing me later.
That's a barbecue followed by sitting out on the porch having a couple beers cigar.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That baby's gonna last you 3 to 4 hours.
Easy. But yeah, I've been vaping for 10 years.
And Jay Greg, I wasn't kidding. If I show up and you are about to be arrested and you show a sign of no, I'm not going to be arrested, and the first words out of your mouth is go ahead and fucking tase me, you're going to get tased. That is how I have not been. That's how I have not had my ass whooped so many times, because if you say go ahead and fucking tase me, I know that you want to fight. So you have one chance after you're told you're under arrest for whatever fucking reason. Oh, go ahead and fucking tase me. All right, dude, turn around or you're getting fucking tased, and you puff up. There's no second warning. You fucking get tased, you get dropped, you get cuffed.
And well, you realize Greg is a electricity freak, right? He is a big electricity freak. He went down to nipple clamps and whatever. He
and technically, that's safer for all of us.
Well,
it hurts. But
you brought up Blue. I'm not saying every case. I'm not saying there's not asshole cops. There's not fucking cops that should be charged and go to jail for shit they've done. But almost, not every time, but most of the time, even when somebody is not necessarily armed, most of the time they are, but anyway, I'm not saying this just because Blue's here. This is just something that was just fucking beat into me about respect for authority. It's mainly my dad, but just do what they fucking say. Holy shit. Almost every time I see there's some kind of shooting or whatever, and they're saying, well, he shouldn't have done this and shit. Well, the suspect should have just fucking done whatever the cop said, and he probably wouldn't have got shot.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? You're running. You're coming at him with a knife. You're walking away from them. You're doing whatever. It's just like, okay, if you're innocent, I know it's not a perfect fucking system, but if there's fucking 5 cops around you and you're walking away, you're not going to get away with this, okay? Just do what the fuck they say. Shut the fuck up. Comply. Go through the court system. I know it's not perfect, and I know some people out there may not like me saying that, but if a cop pulls me over and tells me to get on my knees or lay down or whatever, I'm just going to fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I had a failure to appear because I had moved and I didn't get the letter to appear for it was a minor incident that I had. So I got a failure to appear and a warrant for my arrest. Well, I was out in my garage and I heard some sounds, and I turned around and there's 3 cop cars out in front of my driveway. So I walk out the edge of my driveway. And it's like, hey, Tom, hey, Kurt, how you guys doing tonight? They're like, Gene, you got a failure to appear. And I said, and you felt like you need to bring all of you? Because if you're coming to my door, all you gotta do is knock on my door and say, Gene, we got a warrant because you didn't appear. Oh shit, I'll get that straightened out. You know, but they had to take me to jail, and it's like, I'm not gonna fight them. One, they're friends of mine. And two, they know me and they know that I am going to comply. I'm not going to run. You know, it was a minor incident, a simple failure to appear, no big deal. You know, so I rode in the front seat of the car on the way to the station. You know, they didn't cuff me until we actually got in the garage and they shut the door because they had to because of protocol. And I understand protocol. You know, you just you know what, just listen. Just listen. Just do what you're told to do.
My biggest thing, if I follow anything up with, and I do, if somebody wants to be, I don't want to say a dick, but
You can say that.
abrasive or, you know, like not wanting to comply, it's like, look, this is what I have. You're under arrest. If you don't fucking agree with it, sue me. You will win much bigger in court than you will if you fight me right now. And 9 times out of 10 that works, and I don't ever get sued. Well, that once.
But yeah, but see, you're a different instance, and I agree with you. You should be complying in most instances, but there's a lot of instances that I could cite just off of shit from YouTube where the cop was just being a dick, and the guy's like, "No, fuck you. I know my rights. You can't do shit to me. Go fuck yourself." And then the cop wants to say, "You cussed me," and it's called freedom of speech. I can say what the fuck I want, when the fuck I want, as long as I'm not telling you I'm going to kill you or telling 15 people behind me to jump to do something along those lines to make them want to attack you. I know this from firsthand experience. I went through TSA a couple of years ago when I was flying out here from Tennessee. I have a prosthetic that I have to wear, otherwise I don't walk. This does not come off easily, and I never take it off when I fly. Never have. Not about to start now. TSA cop wanted to be a jerk off with a badge and tell me I had to take it off and try and hop through the scanner. If you've flown recently, they got the whole body X-ray machine where you got to put both feet on the ground and stand there like this. That's not possible for me physically. He tried to enforce his will upon me. I enforced my rights upon him, and I won the war. He was such a devious prick. 2 hours later, as I'm waiting in Ruby Tuesdays, my flight got postponed or delayed 4 hours from Knoxville Airport to LAX. So I'm sitting in Ruby Tuesdays, decide I'm going to get something to eat. I'm sitting there drinking a beer, waiting for my flight. It gets delayed. I order food. I order another beer. I go to the bathroom. I'm in there for 10 minutes, come out of the bathroom. PD is standing all in front of me, all in front of my shit. You have to come with us, sir. You were the TSA agent said you were intoxicated. I'm like, I'm what? They took me to jail. I was in jail for less than 4 hours. First time I've ever been locked up in my almost 50 years. And cost me $600 with fines and the bailout. And another $500 for the plane ticket that they fucked me on. And I could have fought that and won it, but I wanted to move and come out to California. But I won the war. Because you have to know your rights. There are cops that are looking for quotas, especially end of the month. And I've got friends that tell me point blank, they're looking for somebody to stop so they can write out that ticket so they don't get shit from their captain. It's a fact of life in every jurisdiction. Maybe not so much with K9 because they're called in to find specific things. But a beat cop, he's trying to make his money and make his bones so he doesn't get bitched out at the end of every month for not doing his job. They have to make so many tickets a month. Otherwise, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing by patrolling the neighborhood. And a lot of those fucking stops are bullshit.
Yeah,
they cite people for not knowing what they're supposed to be doing.
We're only 8 days into it. If I get 30 more tickets, I get a free trip to fucking Hawaii.
You're full of shit.
Yeah.
You're just jerking my chain. The point is, I've seen a lot of
one thing problem with that. It's not a problem with your story. Don't get me wrong. Your what happened is the fact that a lot of people don't realize TSA are nothing more than glorified fucking security guards. They're not even police officers. So
they're considered part of Homeland Security, but
yeah,
so
I know
powers and privileges.
But they're like some of them making minimum wage and shit, and they can, you know, there again, boast that chest out and call the police, and the police are just reacting to what they're told. I blame that on. I don't. Let me just go ahead and say this, and I'll get off of it. I don't think the TSA is fucking constitutional. It shouldn't fucking exist, and
I agree.
don't have anything good to say about them whatsoever. It should be abolished.
Yep. I agree.
If American Airlines or whoever wants to have their own security at our airport and check your bags and do a body scan or whatever, fine. I got no problem with it because they're not breaking any constitutional law. But when we involve the federal government into breaking your Fourth Amendment right just to walk across the threshold to get on a plane, guess what? It's unconstitutional because they're breaking your Fourth fucking Amendment right.
Which is exactly what I told him.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when they scan me when I go through the airport security is they scan me the body scan, then they take me out and set me aside for a minute and they get the swabs and they swab me for any sort of chemical weapons or any sort of drugs or up and down my legs, my arms, the whole nines. And I'm on my way 5 minutes. The only reason why this guy didn't pull me to the back is because his fucking supervisor come out and says, no, how are you going to get him through the fucking scanner? You're going to hold him there, so that defeats the whole purpose of the scan. You can't walk without that. There's a policy and a procedure in place for this. So instead of taking me to the back to their detainment, he called PD because now I made him look like that big by citing my rights.
Yep. And that's the asshole that should never have a fucking job.
Exactly. I agree with you. And mind you, I'm not saying all cops are like that, but I've seen plenty. Like there's a lot of open carry states where you can carry AR-15s strung on your back. So long as it's not in your fucking hands, you can walk up and down the street with it. Cop can't do shit to you because constitutionally you're allowed to do it by state law, and they still want to play. And they want to intimidate people who know their rights, and then they get pissed off because the guy's like, no, I'm not complying because I don't have to. The law says one thing, you can't tell me something different. Follow the Constitution 90 times out of 100, you're going to be easy. Everything's going to be straight. But it's gotten to the point where now everything is a crime, everything is punishable, and whoever doesn't comply gets shot with a taser.
Hell yes.
my friend Stewie just got just passed the police academy, and she posted a video of her getting shot with the taser and pepper sprayed.
That shit don't feel good. It don't feel good at all.
I told her, I said, that's not something I want to do, girl. That's
if you ever have the option, if for whatever reason the cop says, all right, you're being a dick, do you want the pepper spray or do you want the taser? Take the taser. Pepper spray lasts for hours, and then once it goes away and you go take a shower and it drips down every crack and crevice of your body, you feel it. Take the taser.
1 second, Kyle. I'll answer your question. 1 second. It's too much to type out. 1999, I suffered an accident. Was doing construction side of the road. I fell through a culvert or gator ditch in Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Alabama. And I fell through rotted corrugated tin. And instead of pulling me out the way I went in, because I went in sideways, they pulled me straight out and literally popped my foot off the ankle joint.
Oh, shit.
The bitch kitty of it is I was wearing ripstop jump boots up to my knees. Didn't realize I popped it off. Was walking on it for 4 hours and I couldn't walk anymore. When I finally took me to the emergency room, they cut the fucking boot off. And it's like a cartoon. I shit you not. My legs were hanging out like this. When they cut the boot off my right leg, the foot just went and swung like a pendulum. I passed out, don't remember anything for a day and a half. They reattached it, casted me for 8 months, figured out after they took the cast off, my foot had grown back crooked. They didn't catch the breaks in the foot from when I got originally hurt, so they re-break everything, and it crushed all the metatarsals and tore all the little ligaments in the webbing of the top of my foot. So I have sort of something similar to drop foot, except it just keeps dropping. It doesn't catch itself. Nothing there to catch. So I have to wear that in order to walk.
We just
somebody asked me a question.
We just call that battle wounds.
Yeah. Damn. That's a serious fucking damn.
That's a good conversation piece, though. Should get something cool tattooed on
my eye. And it's not such a good conversation piece because people ask me, what'd you do to your foot? Where'd you put it? It didn't belong. Or where'd you put your face that it didn't belong? I'm constantly getting asked if somebody took my eye for doing things with somebody else's wife that I shouldn't have been doing. I keep saying, no, not if you're alluding to brain cancer. Nothing for you to be sorry about, Kyle. I survived. I functioned. quite well and do it mostly do everything mostly sober. I take a couple pills a night to go to sleep. That's it, unless it's too bad.
Good for you, because a lot of people would just roll over and be like, "Oh my God, I got hurt and I'm just done, and I'm going to milk everything for everything it's worth." So good. I mean, literally good for you.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. I've survived 5 back surgeries. I was paralyzed from just below the sternum down for 3 years. I broke my back. They had to put me together. I've had cancer 4 times, on top of a host of other issues brought on by the residuals for having taken chemo and radiation for approximately 10 years altogether. I do it all sober, and I try to maintain a good attitude. I'm not one of these psychos that goes out in the street, hates everybody, and wants to slit everybody's throat. Even if I might be thinking it, I don't go out and do it.
Well, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got a friend, Jeffrey, that we call Patch, who lost an eye in a construction accident. And man, he gets around just fine. He's a good dude. He's just got a battle wound.
My theory is I have children. I've been working since I was this tall. I can't teach them that it's okay to take something for nothing and not put forth effort, and at least try to overcome whatever you have to go through. I got to lead by example. You can't preach it if you can't teach it.
Yep.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah. Whether we, I don't have kids myself, but I still feel like we all probably are a role model for somebody. Nephew, niece, whatever. Maybe not so much me, but yeah, practice what you preach, and I don't know where I'm going with that, but you definitely have to. If nothing else, practice what you preach. Have a good attitude. Life sucks, but just roll with it.
Yeah.
Nobody owes you shit, especially life.
Thank you. You just took the words right out of my mouth. Life don't owe you nothing, and you take what you get. And I don't even think life sucks, to be honest with you. I mean, life sucking or not sucking just as a matter of perspective. If that makes any sense. Okay, example. Blue and I knew each other when I popped my foot off, just hypothetically. He could be like, dude, your life sucks. And I'm like, dude, I'm able to walk again. I wasn't walking for 1.5 years while I was rehabbing this leg and trying to figure out how I could walk on it again. The fact that I'm able to walk at all, to me, is a blessing. After having my back issues, the leg issues, the neck issues I have from wrestling, the fact that I'm walking and I do it relatively pain-free and I'm pushing 50, I consider that a blessing. Life couldn't be any better, in my opinion. Having all the money in the world doesn't mean shit. Having all the chicks or the dudes in the world don't mean shit. At the end of the day, you're left with just you. So if you're not good with you, then life's going to suck. But I never considered life sucking. Hell, I figure all the trials and tribulations I went through helped me meet my second wife. So guy was just toughening me up so I could put up with her.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that saying "life's a bitch" is overstated. This is like life can be hard, but yeah, you just got to roll with it. I mean, I don't know.
Life is exactly what you fucking make it. I don't care if you could have fucking taken that fucking bullet in the arm that happened, and you could have turned that into a fucking such a negative that, oh my God, I can't use my arm, I can't do this. Life is not about how you get put down. It's about how you fucking hit it and you fucking overcome it and you become a better person because of whatever life hands you. That is what defines a person. It is not, don't wear a shield of
shield of pity.
Yeah, a shield of pity, a shield of torment. You fucking overcome that shit, and that's what defines you as a person. I don't care what situation you're in. Too many people take that as their shield of pity as a shield of fucking honor. Like, oh, I deserve this because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this happened to me. No, you don't fucking deserve it because it happened to you. You fucking deserve it because this hap stood up, came, and now you're back on your life, not what life dealt you. You're back on the life that you're setting up for yourself. And that's
Well, if you're looking for an excuse, if people are looking for an excuse to feel pity for themselves and demand pity from somebody else, I don't give a damn who you are. I guarantee you probably can find a fucking excuse for that. But I don't know. I don't know if it's the way I was raised, the way I think, whatever. Even when things suck, and we've all gone through our trials and tribulations, somebody has it worse. Somebody has it worse. I don't give a damn what you're going through. Somebody had it worse. And there's no reason to dwell
for the grace of God.
You know, just fucking roll with it. Do the best you can. Try to have a good attitude. I'm a very blessed person. What problems I've had in life, I've been able to deal with, and then I go fishing.
Yep.
Well, there's an adage by a fighter, and I can't remember the actual adage, but it's an older adage that's been reinvented or recirculated for this newer entitled crowd. You know, they always said how great a fighter was on how hard he punched his opponent. That's not what makes a great fighter. What makes a great fighter is the guy that's getting punched by all this other guy's might, and he still gets back up.
Yep. Perseverance.
That's kind of what I look at. You can keep beating me down, but I'm going to keep getting back up because I'm too stupid and stubborn to take orders very well in my older age. That's how I view it. But what do I know?
But that's exactly what it comes down to. If you fucking succumb to a doctor saying you're never going to walk right, you're going to live with this, you're doomed. If you accept that, you're doomed. Don't let anybody ever dictate your life. It's your life. You make it.
The only limitations you have are what you put on yourself. There's no expiration date on your foot. When I first got diagnosed with this, it took them 18 months to diagnose me with neuropathic blastoma. Told me I had 6 months left. Mind you, I did what everybody else did for the first month. I drank and got stupidly drunk and depressed for the first month. And I had a little one, my oldest now. And I got thinking about, well, I need to do what I can do to, if not extend life, get as much as I can in as short a time as possible so she could be taken care of when I'm not here. So I based it on, fuck it, I'll just do whatever I have to do. And I did something that wasn't being done back then. I have what they call seeding done. They drill holes in your face. Well, it's mostly for bone cancer, or where they can centrally localize the radiation. Like if I had the cancer in this muscle here, they could go in and instead of zapping with the gun, which would take out from here to here, they would invest little balls with radioactive isotope. And that's what it did around my face. All up through here, the eye socket. I did that for months. And every day I'd go in and they'd change out the isotopes, inject new shit in. And that was one of the things that saved me from having to have my brain lobotomized. Because I lost just under 6 centimeters of my frontal lobe. So when I was learning how to speak again, I was learning how to walk, tie my shoes, wipe my own ass in my 20s. Something we take for granted as grown-ups when you can't articulate and nobody understands the grunting because now you can't form the words anymore. You don't remember how. Speech therapy, physical therapy taught me how to do all these things again. And I went back to work. I've only been on disability for about 3.5, 4 years. Took 10 for me to fight it and finally get it all. After my last wrestling match, I gave myself a massive concussion and fucked my neck up. So between my neck and my spine, my body was shot. I've got stenosis in both my C1, C2, and in the joint that connects your hips to your lower back, I've got stenosis in drastic. And I still only do 2 pills a day at night to sleep. Can't be stoned and stupid and function. I could be one or the other, but if I'm both, I can't function. Yeah, something like gold pellets, HRM, exactly. You
that's
just have
so
to
true.
push dig and dig
that's so. that's the way I live my life. I live every day as it's my last day. I tell those in my life that I love them. And I go to bed at night with a soft touch to my pillow because I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. You don't ever want to be the person that dies and having a thought of regret from one of your loved ones to where they have to seek out a psychic or a, something like that. If that person doesn't know you love them and you've done everything you can to be there and to be the greatest person you could be, you're not living life.
No, you're not. No, you're not. That's why I did the video with my wife. Is because I wanted my fellow brothers here on YouTube, which I love this community so much. I mean, you guys are everybody I've talked to and met so far has been so solid. And I did that video in a respect for my wife because I wanted to share the love of my life.
I know that feeling very well. My best friend's sitting right here, 5 feet from me.
My best friend is in bed at the moment because she has to get up very early for work.
She's in bed too, but I stream from my bedroom, so she's like right here. That's why you hear her talking. She's painting. And we throw quips at each other while I'm doing shows.
Well, see, I've got my own room that I do everything in. So I guess I'm kind of special that way.
Spoil's more like it.
Blue's in the garage.
I am in the garage. So
he got kicked out the house.
All right.
You're going on that YouTube. Yeah, YouTube with all them other boys. You better get out there.
All right, y'all getting way too serious and way too sad. Gun check. Caught Patch off guard.
The Glocksman would be pleased.
Nice.
All right, TR, I don't want to kill the chat, but I got to be up in 8 hours. So
yeah, hey, we're gone 2 hours. It's time to end this. I'm gonna let y'all do an outro, and I'm gonna let you go first, Blue.
No, great chat tonight, guys. This is probably one of the better chats I've been in with TR for, well, at least a month because I haven't been here. But I like when we get serious and we can talk real life situations. I like that. That tonight was a good. It clears your own head. So it was great to talk to all you guys on the panel, side chat. You guys rocked it as always. Make sure, shameless plug, the contest. The giveaway, 2,000 subscribers, will be over in 12 hours. So, or no, 24 hours. I'm sorry, 24 hours. It will be over. So get your VR in if you want to win a cool custom sign. And that's it, man. That's it. Thanks again.
Well, it's good to have you back, Blue. Glad you're able to, with your schedule, to come back and grace your presence with us. We always appreciate your input. Our new guest, reloading from the hot pot. Go ahead, man.
Thank you very much for having me on. And like Blue said, this was a great chat, great side chat, great panel. I really appreciate you having me on and having some real life, heartfelt discussions. It's welcoming, very much so. And Blue, I'll be sending my artwork for that sign. I've already got it. JPEG'd, so you know.
you better hope the kids are a crack shot with a card that they have no idea what they're shooting at.
Oh, I mean, if they're your kids, I'm sure there will be.
Now, I think we have serious conversations, but at the same time, sometimes the chats are just a goof off chat. But at the same time, we're not afraid to tackle real life issues, and I've tried to keep it kind of balanced. with that. Sometimes it's just like 50-50 or whatever. But you know, life's life, and we should actually talk about that, you know, and I love that about the chat. We talk about politics, economics, real life situations, and then sometimes we just talk about fucking off. Whatever that is.
Nothing wrong with that.
Patch, the man that refused to die. Go ahead and do an outro, man.
What's up, brothers and sisters? You guys make sure you hit that like button for Brother TR. The likes don't get us paid. The likes just help the channel, get the people who are sponsoring these live sessions more noticeable and more time on YouTube and the algorithm. Gentlemen on the panel, I appreciate you guys having me on. TR, as always, it's an honor to be on one of your shows. I appreciate you with the open invite. Brothers and sisters in the side chat, I love this panel for the simple fact that we can, in the middle of talking about something serious, we can cut up like we're sitting in the bar drinking and bullshitting about the day's politics and still screw with each other and keep on point and keep on the topic. If we don't talk about the real stuff, then all we have left is the fluff stuff and the fake news stuff. As always, I'm humbled to be, whenever I'm allowed to guest on somebody's show, it makes me feel like sort of validated that my mindset isn't completely askew. But I love the fact that I get to come on and hang out with TR and all the lovely people that he gets to bring on his panel. Blue, it was good to see you again. Hot Pot, I'm glad I met you. I'll be checking you out a whole lot more, my brother. I am a better refused to die. Segue it into Brother TR.
Well, you're definitely you and Reloading from the Hot Pot, welcome guest, and you'll be getting invites, no doubt. Great panel members, you know. I mean, we want to have a good conversation and interact with the people out there. I mean, we're all the same. We're all the same people, and we want to have a serious and then have fun and be serious. You know, it goes back and forth, but that's life, and that's what we're doing. We're just talking about life. And thanks everybody for coming by. We had a pretty good crowd tonight, and we'll see you next week. See ya.